In the Chautauqua institution properties, in the summertime in particular, there is such a growth in the population, and particularly of elderly people. And our call rate for the Chautauqua Fire Department, and then relative to others who assist us or who take our place when we are busy, is greatly elevated during the months of July and August. And during those times, the people who would be normally expecting to receive the kind of attention that they get now will be greatly disappointed. There is going to be a far longer transport time if it is necessary to always transport to Jamestown or to another facility in Dunkirk or Fredonia, or perhaps as far away as Erie County to Buffalo or Erie, Pennsylvania, and that simply would not be good.
Our population explodes during the summertime, and we are, for all practical purposes, a small city ambulance service at that time. A small corps of volunteers, supplemented with paramedics in the summertime, have got to handle that load. And to increase the time of every call and the run time by having to go to Jamestown or further, or even to Brooks, I suppose, is really going to delay the service. It's just one ambulance running.
With our elderly population year-round, we will have longer transport times, so we will probably have a higher death rate just because it'll take that much longer to get people to a better, higher level of care than we offer in our ambulance. We are, for the most part, offering basic or paramedic level care here, and they won't get to more detailed life-saving interventions, particularly people like stroke victims, of which the elderly are more common. You're really looking at probably some higher rates of fatalities.
The majority of the people that live here are elderly people, and elderly people need the ambulance more than younger people for the most part. I just can't see closing Westfield Hospital. It's a 20-minute round trip from here to Westfield, guns blazing, as you would say, with the lights and siren going. It's a lot closer. It's a fine hospital. They will ship you out to a bigger hospital if they get you stabilized.
If the Westfield Memorial Hospital emergency room is closed down, people will lose their lives because they're not going to get the care they need in the time they need. During the wintertime, weather conditions just, you can't go as fast as you need to sometimes. Sometimes in the wintertime here, you'd have to go 25 miles an hour all the way to the hospital, if it's depending on the conditions. And that would really pose a threat to lives if we have to go all the way to Jamestown at 25 miles an hour.
We have Amish people that live in our district. What are they going to do? They've got, and they're a big Amish community over towards Westfield. And it's just, they would have to go to Dunkirk, which would be another 45 minutes for them. There again, Westfield Hospital saves lives.
I pulled out to this intersection. Big bush was there. I didn't see the tractor trailer, and he ran into me. I went over top of it, and I landed on the right side of it. I finally landed the bike. I was turning left after I hit the truck, and I laid the bike down, and it crashed. Ambulance come right away, and they picked me up and took me to the emergency room, and then they called for the helicopter. Then they flew me off to Erie. They stabilized me in the hospital. That ER wasn't there. They could never stabilize me. And then it would be a lot longer to go to another emergency room.
If they shut the emergency room at Westfield Memorial Hospital, it will have a great effect on our response to emergency calls. Number one, because of the travel distance to the other area hospitals that we'd have to use, there would be a great difference in the loss of life because of the time involved. And also we have members that would not be able to respond because they would not be able to commit to the time, because it's much longer to go to the other area hospitals than Westfield. And our rig would be out of service at a longer period of time.
We're volunteer, we're not paid, we leave work, we lose money.
It's going to have an effect for the people who run the ambulance. My husband and I are both EMTs, and as self-employed people, you'll be asking us to give up an even greater amount of time, and we might not be able to make that choice every time to do every run.
Ready? There we go, that's it. Here we go. You're responding to a call, and the call would go to WCA in Jamestown, for example. You would be gone from your job for at least 2 hours. Whereas if you went to Westfield, it might be less than an hour.
Charlie said 2 hours. I don't know whether that's correct. I think you'd be there probably 3 hours, including the return trip, to take care of an individual.
There's at least 150 emergency responses that are transported to Westfield Memorial Hospital per year from our fire district. We as a fire department feel that we would definitely lose lives, and there would be a definite difference in loss of lives if the emergency room at Westfield Hospital was closed.
In terms of its finances and how it is maintained and operated, has no financial impact on the community or the state, and I just do not comprehend how the interest can be in reducing the facility or doing away with it entirely. It makes no sense.
Closing down Westfield, I think it is a big mistake.
I was born there. It's an excellent hospital.
I don't want them to close the emergency room at all. We need that emergency room there.
If this emergency facility is shut down, there will be more loss of life related to people in Chautauqua County.